Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to this week's video on the Spark Your Speaking channel. Today, I'll be talking about 5 ways that can help you take control of that fear and anxiety when speaking or presenting in front of others. For those who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. My name is Kathy Lee and I'm an international executive speaking coach, and I've helped hundreds of students in 108 different countries elevate their public speaking skills. If you want to improve your speaking and or communication skills, remember to hit the red subscribe button below this video so you don't miss out on our weekly public speaking videos. All right, let's get started. My first tip to helping you tackle fear and anxiety when speaking or presenting in front of an audience is preparation. I mentioned previously the importance of being prepared before launching into any talk or presentation, and because I believe this is such a crucial tip, I'm going to dive into it again in this section. Before anyone gets ready to do something important, whether that's a game, a performance, a job, or school interview, emceeing an event, or pitching an idea, just to name a few things, one key to success is preparing ahead of time. The most successful people seldom just wing it and hope for the best. Even the most naturally gifted people still have to prepare to some extent ahead of time. So let's get you in the habit of creating good habits like preparation. One of the things you need to do in that preparation process is knowing what you're going to be talking about. So that means understanding your subject matter in and out. You also need to determine how many subjects you'll be talking about. Is it one or is it several that you'll be breaking down and diving deeper into? So let's say you're a real estate investor and you're going to be doing a Facebook Live event to teach your followers about the different ways you can invest, okay? An ill-prepared person would just jump into this without any research or rehearsal. Best case scenario, they are a natural speaker and end up winging it. And if they're able to pull it off, I'd say they are in the minority of people who can do that. More often than not, it's very obvious when someone has thrown their presentation together last minute, right? It's disorganized, it has no structure. Do not be this person. Remember, you want to make it easy for your audience to digest and learn the information you're giving out. So a well-prepared person would come up with specific topics to talk about ahead of time, and under each of those topics, break it down further into more specific items they want to discuss. That's the simplest way to organize any presentation. I call this approach the roadmap approach, and I teach my students how to put their roadmap together. Every roadmap is going to be different depending on the presentation. But in short, in summary for today, the roadmap acts as an outline or a guide for what you will be talking about. So you're not just going into a presentation completely unprepared. You have this guideline, okay, to help you remember what you will be saying, and it will help organize all your thoughts. Now, beyond the roadmap, as I mentioned before, rehearsing and practicing your presentation or talk a few times is also part of the preparation process. If you implement just these 2 things, you'll not only elevate the quality of your presentation, but it will also help your anxiety because you will be better prepared. The next thing to keep in mind is don't be afraid to make a mistake. Okay? Despite the fact that you may have prepared and rehearsed your speech or talking points or presentation over and over and over again, there is still a chance that something could go wrong on the day you get in front of people. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's important to acknowledge the possibility. It has certainly happened to me, so I'm telling you from experience. But remember that with preparation and rehearsal, you will be in a better position to handle a mistake if it should happen, compared to if you didn't prepare and rehearse. But if a mistake should happen, don't sweat it. Definitely don't panic. Just take a breath and pause and collect your thoughts, okay? Remember, no one expects you to be perfect. Even the best speakers still make mistakes because they are only human. The important thing is how you handle that mistake. Do you dwell on it and highlight it even more, or do you fix it quickly and just move on? If you fix it quickly and move on, chances are your audience won't even think twice about it. It's only when you make it a big deal, then it really becomes a big deal. The other thing to take note is that in most situations, your audience is forgiving, okay? The audience is not out to get you. They want to see you succeed. As an example, let's say you signed up for a virtual presentation about yoga, okay? And it was hosted by someone that you've been following on social media for a long time. On the day of the presentation, I highly doubt you as an audience member is sitting there wishing that they would do really poorly on their presentation. I'm sure that instead you were looking forward to hearing what they have to say. And if they were to make a mistake in their delivery, there's a pretty good chance that you're not going to call them names or call them out if you're a good person, okay? By understanding this and flipping the scenario, I hope it gives you some peace of mind to know that for the most part, your audience will support you. The next tip to help calm nerves and anxiety is to use positive visualization. This is a really good technique that I used when I was a competitive figure skater many years ago. Before going on the ice and performing, after I finished warming up, my coach would have me sit down and find a quiet space to visualize my program. I would visualize myself executing every move successfully, and I found that this really helped ground and calm me before a performance. So you can do the same thing before you launch into your presentation if you feel the need to. Positive visualization is really an added bonus to rehearsing and practicing, right? Practicing gets all your muscles ready and your body ready, and visualization gets your mind ready. So find a quiet spot and visualize your presentation in your mind, right? Not just what's on the piece of paper, but also how you see yourself executing this. Are you smiling? Are you having fun? What about your body posture? Is it strong? Are you standing up? Maybe even visualize what you're going to be wearing that day. Are you in your power suit? Bottom line is there is not one sure way to predict how you will perform, but there are many things that you can do to help ensure you are as successful as possible. In addition to positive visualization, I always try a quick breathing exercise to help calm my nerves before I had to speak or perform. So I would close my eyes and take a deep breath through the nose, right? You want that breath to fill your belly, and before you exhale, hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. And then exhale slowly through the mouth. So I would do that a few times before performing too, and that really helps. So breathing is just so important, and it's very cleansing, and it does help calm you down if you're nervous. The next tip I have kind of goes with positive visualization, and that's to challenge negative thoughts. As much as we try to stay positive, sometimes our negative thoughts and doubt creep into our head. It's just something that happens, okay? But when that happens, it can really elevate your anxiety even more. The important thing is not to let the negative thoughts control your reality. Your negative thoughts can tell you that you're not ready to release your first Instagram video or do a Facebook Live or host a podcast. Your negative thoughts may tell you that you aren't good enough, that you shouldn't be the keynote or presenter, or that you shouldn't represent your company. But more often than not, your negative thoughts aren't true. But they can really poison your confidence if you let them. What I like to do to combat this negativity is write down all the things that I've ever achieved, because it really helps remind me of how amazing I am and that I am ready for the next step or the task at hand, right? And you can do this on a vision board if you want to get all fancy, or you can just simply write it on a piece of paper. But it's just a good way to remind you that you are ready and that you are great at what you do. The other thing you can do is write down inspirational quotes, or have the people closest to you write something kind or positive about you. And you can put these down on cue cards to keep near you so that when you are facing doubt, you can pull these out to remind you that your doubts are not true and they will not define you. So that's another really great strategy. And lastly, if your negative thoughts are getting the best of you, ask yourself, if what you're thinking is logical and a reality, okay? And try to find the proof to back up those negative thoughts. My bet is you might not find any, or you might find that your negative thoughts are exaggerated. Even the most accomplished people have doubts and negative thoughts, but they continue to move forward on their journey despite them. And that's what I want you to learn to do with your public speaking, okay? In addition to getting your mind right, nutrition and self-care is also important to help calm anxiety. My next tip is to stay hydrated and eat for success. When it comes to what you should drink, I recommend staying away from caffeine and sweet drinks, okay? Water will be your friend. And you can drink this as much as you want, and it's free. Water helps flush out the toxins in your body and helps clear your mind and keep it sharp. It will help you perform at the optimal level. If I know that I'm going to be talking for a really long time and presenting, sometimes my mouth goes dry as well. So I will always have a glass of water nearby so I could take sips if I need to. As for food, make sure you avoid foods that you know will irritate your stomach. When you get nervous, your digestive system can sometimes go wonky, again, from personal experience. So adding irritating foods might not help. On the day of your presentation, don't go hungry, but eat something light. Like I like to eat a banana or an apple for some energy, and that's it. I don't like to overload myself. Of course, when it comes to diet, there isn't one blueprint for every person, right? Only you know your body best. So listen to it and figure out what is the best blueprint for you. Now, as you can see, there are so many different ways that you can help your anxiety and fear, help calm them before presenting or public speaking. And I mean, the ones that I've just given you are just a few tips to help you get started. You don't have to do them all at once, okay? Just try changing one thing at a time. If you find at the beginning of your public speaking journey that your anxiety is getting the best of you, start making some good habits from the start to try to lessen that fear. Over time, as you get better and you start to fear less and start gaining that confidence, then you might not have to do all these things that I've recommended, okay? So kind of tailor it to what you need. All right, that's all for today, everyone. Just to recap, my 5 tips to tackling anxiety and fear of public speaking is preparation, don't be afraid to make a mistake, positive visualization, challenge negative thoughts, stay hydrated, and of course, eat for success. If you like this video and found it helpful, remember to hit the like button below and share it so others can benefit as well. If you have any questions or topic ideas, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you would like to learn more about the other public speaking programs I offer, hit the link above to go to my website, sparkyourspeaking.com. See you next week.